This is the True Crime Nation podcast with your hosts, Todd and Brian. If you're enjoying the show or have suggestions for future shows, you can email us at truecrimenation@outlook.com. And as always, let's start the show. Welcome back to the show. This is Brian. Right over there with me is my co-host, Todd. And this is the True Crime Nation podcast. What's going on, my friend?
We're going to talk about yet another sick and disturbing serial killer, terrible person. We don't know how to pronounce his name, but we're going to call him Joachim. Is that what we've decided? Joachim Kroll.
Yeah, we're probably going to butcher that, but it's Joachim. We'll just say Joachim Kroll.
Okay, Joachim Kroll.
We'll go with that.
All right.
Yep. We don't speak Russian, so that's as good as it gets.
Yeah. Forgive us.
Yep.
So what do we know about this guy? Let's dive into this and see what's going on with this dude.
Joachim Kroll, the Duisburg man-eater. That should give you a little hint of what we're getting ready to see here.
Oh, great.
While not nearly as well known as Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer, Joachim Kroll's crimes are equally, if not more, disturbing. Known as the Ruhr cannibal, the Ruhr hunter, or the Duisburg man-eater, Kroll's macabre killing spree took the lives of 14 known victims, and authorities believed he killed even more.
I'm sure he did.
I'm most certainly sure he did.
So this guy is a supposed man-eater, a cannibal.
Oh, sorry, German. He's German, not Russian.
German.
I apologize to all the German people.
Does that change how we pronounce his name at all?
We can say it more angry, I guess, because German always sounds angry.
Joachim. All right, so he's German.
Joachim!
Jeez. Yeah, I can't hear now.
Sorry.
That's all right.
This cannibalistic German serial killer claimed that he ate parts of his victims to save money because meat was expensive. He evaded capture for 2 decades, and over the years, 6 other men were arrested for crimes that he committed.
Oh, this guy's leaving a wake of bullshit behind him, isn't he?
Yep.
So we heard about
Sure
this before where we did I think it was our last episode, or not, a couple episodes ago, Albert Fish.
Yeah.
Was talking about.
Yeah. Had some people take the fall for him too.
And how they were talking about how meat was so expensive overseas and they were selling children.
Yeah, that was in
cut up.
China though. Yeah, that was China.
Weird.
The big man there, but that wasn't ever proven. So, but it's weird that they blame it on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think someone's going to get
hunting, go out in the woods and shoot something.
Eat an acorn or something.
Not a person.
Eat a pine cone.
Yeah. Something. But Joachim Kroll's gruesome killing spree finally came to an end after he clogged a shared toilet with a victim's entrails, leading to his capture.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a hell of a way to catch him.
Mm-hmm.
Kroll was born in 1933 during the beginning of the Nazi Party's rise in Germany. The youngest of 8 children, Kroll was considered weak. This constant degradation from his family and community, coupled with the unstable upbringing during World War II, likely contributed to his crimes as an adult. Kroll was a frequent bedwetter as a child, which caused him much humiliation. He also reportedly sexually abused animals. Both bedwetting and animal cruelty are components of the McDonald triad, a set of childhood behaviors that can point to violent tendencies later in life.
Or serial killer tendencies.
I'm sure that's...
You find a kid that tortures animals and does that kind of stuff to animals, I mean, he's going to do that to people. He don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a kid out there who seriously took animal torture serious and didn't end up doing something worse. But I don't know. I mean...
No, that's probably true.
So it's kind of a pattern here with this guy. You know, we talked before, you know, you got bedwetters and abuse and all that stuff going on.
Abused, yep.
Repetitive thing.
Scrawny, weak kind of person when they were young, and then...
Probably bullied.
Mm-hmm. Like many other families in Germany during World War II, Kroll's family suffered from extreme poverty and hunger. His father, a soldier in the German army, was taken as a POW by the Russian army and is believed to have died during the war, leaving Kroll and his 7 siblings with their mother.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were starving. They were hungry.
Yeah, probably. They still don't. That doesn't excuse cannibalism, though. Sorry.
No. It'd have to be your last resort. And the person would have to already be dead.
Yep. Yeah, like those plane crash people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Kroll quit school in 1948 after having to repeat several grades more than once. At 15 years old, with a fourth grade education, his struggles in school were compounded by the disruptions of World War II. Later in life, testing revealed he had an IQ of 78, and some reports claim Kroll didn't know how to read.
Do you know what is the average IQ?
I have no idea. I don't think it's 78.
Is it 100? You know?
No, it's got to be higher than that, doesn't it?
I heard if you have like a 120 IQ, you're considered a genius or something like that. I don't know. This guy obviously wasn't anything close to that.
No. Well, you look that up. I'll keep going.
All right.
While working as a farmhand, Kroll said that helping kill farm animals inspired his murderous fantasies. When he saw a pig being slaughtered, the incident awakened his sex drive. Here we go again. As a young man, Kroll did attempt to have a romantic relationship with an unknown woman. He said that he felt awkward and inadequate with women sexually, and described his only sexual encounter with a woman as a failure. Kroll's twisted mind concluded he should have sexual encounters with someone who could not complain about his performance. I think we all know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
In 1955, as his obsession with death grew, Kroll's mother died. The Kroll siblings went their separate ways, lost touch. Later that year, Joachim Kroll murdered his first victim.
So I looked it up. The scores above 130 are labeled as an above average or very superior. So the average is actually between 85 and 115 on the IQs. And overall, about 98% of people have a score below 130.
Okay, so he's way below.
He's low, yeah. He's definitely low. It said while scores under 70 would be considered below average or labeled as borderline impaired. So he was close, but he was smart enough to kill people and get away with it, obviously.
And get away with it for a couple decades. On February 8th, 1955, Kroll traveled to the village of Wallstead. There, he captured and murdered 19-year-old Irmgard Strell, strangled her to death, and raped her and slashed open her abdomen. Along with raping victims after their death, Kroll also repeatedly masturbated over their bodies. Finally, when he got home from a kill, he would pleasure himself again with a rubber sex doll, often while choking a small child's doll.
So did he obviously said this is what he did. He had to.
I'm sure.
He's the only one that
admitted
this, right? No one else would really know he did it. So
right.
Sick.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he told this psychiatrist or whatever all about it.
Yeah, this dude's messed up. He's
beyond messed up.
He was getting off watching pigs get slaughtered. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what he said. Kroll would later claim that after his first killing, his murderous tendencies subsided until 4 years later. However, authorities believe that Kroll was responsible for several more murders between 1955 and 1959, which is when Kroll said he started killing again.
Mm-hmm.
His next known murder took place on June 16th, 1959, when 24-year-old Clara Frida Tesmer was killed in Ryan Tesmer's and was killed. All right, we're going to start that over.
Okay.
When 24-year-old Clara Frida Tesmer was killed in Rhine, Tesmer's murder was identical to Irmgard Strell's murder. Only this time, Kroll began to engage in what would become his trademark cannibalism. Kroll removed pieces of Tesmer's flesh from her buttocks and thighs, wrapped them up, and took them home to cook for dinner. A local man in Rhine named Heinrich Ott, this is a very German name, and
Heinrich
was arrested for Tesmer's murder and hanged himself while awaiting trial. Meanwhile, Joachim Kroll remained at large.
Okay,
Yep, there's the first one.
So this dude, okay, first I'm going to say this. We've done a lot of shows now where these people are talking about eating people and cannibalism. I mean, this seems to be more and more back in the day. These are in the late 50s, right? So that's just weird in itself. This guy, Heinrich Ott, hung himself even though he wasn't guilty of this.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, you plead not guilty and you hope you get off on it, I mean,
in Germany during World War II or after World War II? I don't think so.
Yeah, you're probably right. This is still before the wall came down.
Like way before. Yeah. I think it's probably shortly after they built it, 1959.
Maybe.
Those who have studied Joachim Kroll's psychology note that his self-awareness and methodical ways of selecting victims point to Kroll having a higher IQ than his reported score of 78. Ha ha.
Ha.
Like other serial killers, Kroll traveled to different towns to look for his victims.
Yeah, See, there we go. He played stupid.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. That way nobody, would think anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kroll mainly murdered women and girls, but he didn't stick to one age group or type like other killers often do. He even murdered one man, Hermann Schmitz, in 1965. That night, Kroll had traveled to Grossenbaum, where he spied Schmidt and his fiancée Marion Veen in a secluded area having sex in the front seat of a car, and got an idea. Kroll lured Schmitz out of the car by waving his arms as if for help. Then he stabbed Schmitz repeatedly, planning to kill and rape Veen next. Instead, Veen leaped into the driver's seat of the car and drove directly at Kroll, who dodged the vehicle and ran away. Smart. Very smart.
Hit his ass.
Yeah. Smart girl.
Yeah, she was.
Although she got a good look at Kroll, Veen's account of the nondescript killer didn't turn up any leads. Kroll remained free to carry out his horrifying crimes. Further confusing police, Kroll did not always strip victims of flesh to engage in cannibalism, making each murder different. He preferred to take these cuts only from the victims that he viewed as particularly young and tender.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this guy was smarter than that. He was trying to make each murder different.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't, Mm-hmm.
Yep, and traveling to different towns to do it. Yeah.
He's not stupid.
Plus, other killers operating in West Germany had the police distracted. In the years before Joachim Kroll began killing, Werner Boost had been murdering couples in the area starting in the early 1950s. Boost and several other suspected killers are believed to have thrown police off Kroll's track.
Very possible. How confusing is that for cops?
When you get 3 or 4 or 5 killers doing the same, if one murder kind of looks like the other, I mean, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And in the 50s, we know they didn't have DNA.
Yeah, that's right. So a lot easier back then to get away with stuff once again.
Yep. Even worse, while Kroll was actively killing, 5 other men, along with Heinrich Ott, were arrested and charged for his murders. Like Ott, one of the men committed suicide.
Wow.
Another disturbing element of Kroll's murders was the motivation behind the cannibalism. Many cannibalistic serial killers, such as Albert Fish, whom we just talked about.
We did. There he is.
Are sexually motivated to consume their victim's flesh or see it as a trophy.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Kroll had a more practical view of the act. He later said that he took from his victim. Meat was expensive. I don't think meat could ever be that expensive.
No.
Joachim Kroll's cannibalistic crime spree came to an end on July 3rd, 1976. That day, Kroll kidnapped 4-year-old Marion Kettner from a park.
Oh, jeez. So he had a good run.
4 years old.
He had a good run, huh?
Yeah, 1976. Yeah, that was a long time.
20 plus years, this guy's, and he didn't have a 78 IQ. Come on.
Yeah, there's no way.
Call him BS on that.
Yep. Me too.
So what did he do to this girl? What happened to him?
A little later, a neighbor asked Kroll if he knew what was blocking the pipes in the building's shared lavatory. When he replied, "Guts," the neighbor chuckled. Then he looked in the toilet, saw tiny human organs, and immediately contacted the police.
Oh, my God.
Once inside Kroll's apartment, police found Marion Kentner's dismembered body. Parts of the body were in the refrigerator, a hand was cooking on the stove, and entrails clogged the plumbing. Police removed the shared toilet and found Kentner's liver, lungs, kidneys, and heart.
So these guys shared a toilet?
Yeah, I mean, it was Germany.
They each had their own apartment, but they had a shared bathroom, probably just a little room or something.
Probably just a little tenement or something. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Kroll was immediately arrested, admitted to murdering Kentner, and gave police details of 13 other murders, including the killings of Irmgard Strell and Clara Frida Tesmer. He also confessed to engaging in cannibalism. While in prison, Kroll eagerly cooperated with police, convinced he would be given an operation that would cure his homicidal urges, and released. What? After several years in incarceration, he was charged with 8 murders and 1 attempted murder in a trial that went on for a grueling 151 days.
Why? Why waste people's time?
I know. End it. Just put a bullet in his head. In the end, instead of receiving the cure he wanted, Kroll was sentenced to life in prison in April 1982. He died in prison in 1991 of a heart attack at 58 years old.
Yay! All right. Okay.
Not soon enough and not torturous enough.
So this dude thought that by cooperating with police, he was convinced that they would give him an operation to cure his homicidal urges and he would be released.
Right.
Okay.
I
Joachim
don't think there's
Kroll.
an operation that does that.
Even if there was.
Unless it's a lobotomy.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to walk around and do anything, probably. What a sick bastard, man. He's not up there at the top.
I know.
He's not my top, but he's definitely...
He's close. He's in the top 10.
We got to get away from these cannibals, man. We got to find something different.
I know. We got to find something.
Maybe we should do some more. Let's do some more missing episodes for the listeners out there. They probably enjoy
We'll do
those
some
a
more
little
of
bit.
that stuff.
They're probably tired of hearing about
these
poor kids getting slaughtered.
These cannibals, man. And they do. They go for the young ones. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, easy. The easiest
But again,
prey.
they're helpless and they're helpless and they're
Disgusting.
mm-hmm.
Well, all right, man. We'll call that an episode and get on out of here and look for the next exciting mystery to try to talk about and solve, I guess.
Yeah. If anybody else has some ideas for a show, let us know. We'll gladly talk about it.
Yeah, we've got a couple shows we're going to do that people reached out to us about some wrongful convictions. I don't know if they're wrongful.
Allegedly.
So we're going to do one of those.
We'll see.
And then some more. So anyway, appreciate it, everyone. Brian, thanks for hanging out with me as always.
Right on, man. Don't
right.
forget to tell them. TrueCrimeNation@outlook.com. That's our email.
Yes. All right. With that, we'll get out of here. Listeners,
Right on.
thanks for listening. And remember,
Monsters are real.